Excuse me. Great. Back here. And all right. Testing the sound. All right. So, hello and welcome to Shan the Baby. Thank you for being here with me. If you just come across my page, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And please click the notification bell so if I'm uploading anything, you'll know. All right, I do $30 reads. My number is always in the description. Just go ahead and text it, and then we can chop it up about the time and the date if that is something that you're needing. Every now and then I do things called history mystery, where I try to use spirit and terror to kind of explore these subject matters that people have um, considered to be there are some type of mysteries or something that they don't know. And so I try to get my cards, excuse me, and get me and my spirit together and try to figure these mysteries out. So the mystery that I am coming to you today about is the Olmec Heads. Now, strange thing, I just happened to be looking up something that I can do a reading on, and I have a game called Animal Crossing, and just so happens I had a Olmec head to come up in my store, and I bought it, but I didn't know what it was at that time, so I just picked it up, and then I have it on my island, and it's right in front of my store. If you play Animal Crossing, I'm very much obsessed with Animal Crossing, so me and my daughter, we obsessed with Animal Crossing. So I bought the Olmec head, and then I happened to be sitting here and say, well, what can I do a history mystery on? So I put it into the computer and seen that. And that's what I say. I say, oh, that's the thing that I have on my island. So let me go ahead and, yeah, huh? Huh? You have him on your yeah, he right in front of my store on my Animal Crossing island. And oh, also, if anybody got any kind of hey, little B33 gamers, hello, Jazz Cat, welcome to my live. So if anybody plays Animal Crossing, like if you have I would love for you like to email me, and then maybe we can because I do have online, so maybe you can come to my island, I can come to your island. So my email is shandababyterra.com. I think they have those things called some kind of photo codes or something, like if you want to visit each other online like that. So if y'all got any kind of code like that, y'all be online and I'll be online, then y'all could come to my island. All right. Or my daughter's island, she has a Animal Crossing island as well. But anyway, I'm getting all off subject. Huh? Yeah, hers is pink and better. That's what she said. No, I ain't no interior designer and decorator. That's not my thing. I just like tarot cards and spirituality. She like pink stuff. So, so I had that head on there. So I guess for some people, just like a little general knowledge base of what the Olmec head is. These are like some statues that are in history, and they are big, huge, colossal size heads, and they're anywhere from 6 to 11 feet tall, And they also stated they're like, how many tons? I wrote it down. Sorry about that. Let me try to figure out how many tons are they. 6 to 40 tons, these Olmec heads. All right. And they have found so far 17 of these massive heads, and they have found them in the region of in the country of Mexico. Right off the Gulf of Mexico is in that particular region is where they found these 17 heads throughout the place. Some heads have been like covered up or destroyed for some reason. Some of the heads have been like rejiggered, like if they used to be something else and they've done something else with them. um, and people are really entranced about how they transported it. So I'm going to try to use terror and spirit to answer a few questions, just whatever that it gives me. Now, right off the bat, when I saw the Olmec heads and I saw the Africanized features, because of course you can see I am African American and also Native American as well. But they, when I've seen those statues, then I seen my people. Okay, I seen my children's noses. Well, not my children's noses. 6'7". Somebody on there say 6'7". I seen my kids. They don't have real Africanized nose as well, but my daughter has Africanized features such as her lips, and of course I do as well. Big, big lips like black folk, but I don't really have a deep Africanized nose, but you can tell that it's Africanized. But my little boy, he has a more of a Native American nose. So if I'm looking at all of them, they kind of just, people are not one race, as folks tend to think. And I can distinguish uh, my children's appearance, and I can just kind of lock it down. That's just something strange that I can do. My little boy, he has a Native American nose. He stands, if he goes to the side, he has the profile of a Native American nose. My daughter, she has a very mixed breed nose, very, very, very few Africanized nose. It's a mix between some type of um, African, Hispanic, and Caucasian nose. Her nose. It's not very prominent and flat across her face. It's kind of flat in places, and then her nose is a little weird because I always, look at the features of my kids. And then I have one son. He is his dad black, I'm black, but there's definitely some type of Hispanic heritage in him, and so he doesn't really have a full-on Africanized nose. So and then he got a lot of Caucasian features and Hispanic features in my oldest son. Now my other son, the middle son, he gives me vibes of somebody on a island. Fires, nice collection. Oh, thank you, big old chungus. My daughter made this. She made this for me. Oh, baby, she is talented, and she's not even a professional. And she hadn't been doing this long, and she learned how to do it on YouTube. On YouTube, she just picked it up and just started learning how to do it. So I really appreciate this head scarf. So thank you. And so, well, my other son, he reminds me more of a Dominican Republican. And grant you, these children have black two parents, but of course, we are all mixed up everywhere. All of us people tend to think they one thing and they not. Because I can look at my own individual children. I have four of them, and I can see exactly the places where they come from. So once I saw these Alamac, I hope I'm saying that correct. Almac or Alamac, I don't know, Almac. Once I saw these, I immediately, not immediately saw Africanized features. And then so I didn't know much about them, and I went to look, and then they just discredited it altogether that there were no Africanized features. That's not right. That's not right. So okay, so what I'm gonna do is use my I'm gonna go about it in the spiritual way, okay? Because this is not scientific at all. No, 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 no. So what I'm gonna ask is whether these colossal heads, um, as we are seeing them, as they are presenting themselves, that this is someone like them or someone that they felt was of importance. Do they have African heritage in the DNA of these statues, the people that are represented by this statue? Is there any set of Africanized DNA inside of that? Okay, let's see, because a lot of people like, no, African people could never make it. Like, we don't own boats. We don't make boats. We don't travel. Just because we was African, we did nothing. So let's see, and then I'll let spirit determine whether these personifications of other people is these people that they represented had any type of Africanized DNA. Okay, and what I'm going to do first is kind of like train my thing. Okay, this is no. I'm talking to spirit, y'all. All right, and this is yes. Circle is yes. Back and forth is no. All right, now we're going to stop it. And we're going to ask these representations, do they have Africanized DNA? These statues of people that represent, yes or no? And it goes in a circle. I do not move it. And that is a strong yes. All right. So, irregardless to what scientists say, irregardless to whatever they say, and irregardless to my eyes that do not deceive me, those Olmec people have some form of African in them, okay? Now, they could have been of mixed race, okay? Because they have Afro-Latinos. They got a lot of different things going on in the world and in America, and were going on then too. So, they do have African DNA, the Olmecs, according to me and my spirit and my guides, and then just much more confirmed by what I see in the eyes that I see when I see black folks and any origin of black folks. We got the thick noses, lips. All right, that's what I saw there. Well, beyond that, let's try to answer some questions about the Olmec. First of all, I want to see, people are saying, what are they purpose? I want to see what is the purpose of these huge colossal heads. Okay, people say that these are they're not their deities or gods. That's what the world is saying, scientific world, I guess. That these were their leaders and military leaders or something other like that. So we'll go to spirit and see what spirit says. What were the purpose of these massive heads, the Olmec? We are connecting with the Olmec. We are connecting so that we will know what you know, what they will know, and what were the purpose of these heads. Huh? Yeah? No, she's not here. How could we go if she's not here? No, it's cold. She's not going out. I'm waiting on name. All righty. Let's see. What was the purpose? The purpose. The purpose in the past we have is the Knight of Wands, and this is always like communication or going back for going, leaving, going and leaving. These could be used to mark territory, as in this person is the person that is here, that is the ruler, or that is. This is to send a message for all people that is going through, coming and going, people that are traveling. It seems like to me, you will know if you are outside the boundaries of whoever kingdom that is, or whoever is protecting or abiding by that area. What I have in the middle is a King of Swords, and Kings of Swords to me dictates military. Okay, also dictates police authority. someone who is in control. This is a person who is thinking, and they're in control of a lot of, in this particular situation, control of a lot of different things. I'm the ruler, I'm the king over this area. I make the laws, I make this, I make that. So you're stepping into my boundary and you're stepping into my territory. So that's what that was for. Let's see. Let's put some more cards on that King of Swords. King of Swords. Let me do this. Some more information spirit about this King of Swords. These definitely were put out to make a statement. This is exclamation. I here do declare, I here do say. This is kind of sort of what I'm hearing, like declarations of authority is what I see here. This is the bulls. This is the place that I am part of, and I own several places around this particular area is what I was seeing. Like I am regional something. It's like that, like if you were regionally a part of an area or you cover that area, such as people that, like, you have Walmart. Walmart is, of course, the Walton people or whatever, but different. They have different regional managers that cover different states, that go only over that state. So that's what this is. It's like it's some area that is cut up and some area that is set off and aside for a certain person, but not only that one area. I think that it feels like this was letting people know this is the like this is the king's kingdom where the throne sits, and it may not be nothing like a kingdomhood or nothing, but somewhat like it. That's the only thing that I could kind of compare it to. The seat of the kingdom is here, but there are surrounding areas in which I am also in control of. So I'll put up these big blocks to let you know where your boundaries go. Okay, that's what it feels like. And over time, the way we got these 17 was that different people ruled at different times, and they will go up and it will go down. I feel like sometimes society was good, depending on which. It's not a kingdomship though, but that's the only thing that I can compare it to. It could have been a clan, a tribe, something like that. Up and down, and some rulers were not so hot, some rulers were, and some were good, and some helped the community to grow while others tore the community down. That's just like when you get a president, you can get a good one, you can get a bad one. And I think that's particularly what was going on here. Sometimes whoever this King of Swords was, he would serve again. He would be sometimes you would rise to power and sometimes you would go out. I guess this is just like I don't understand anthropology, but it feels like this was a society, and you know how societies fall, and sometimes not all the way falling, but they climb, and then they have periods of low, periods where they're doing the right thing, and periods where they may not be being so just. So there is an adjustment to the rule here. All right, let's see. King of Swords. Let's do this. Let's do these. King of Swords. King of Swords. King of Swords. I also have like card, and I'm getting females. So I'm getting also that, I mean, it may not look like that, but I feel like there are some, or was some females, which were married. We got the married card. Okay. We got married here. And we got work or occupation, and then living rooms. Okay. I get that some of these things were carved out by women, okay? Women of whoever King of Swords was, because she would make, the bust, they call it a bust, the big old head thingy, a bust, in the image of her man, okay, or her husband. Or there were ladies that may have been married to these officials because they may have had two or three wives, and these ladies were in charge of creating this bust or the vision of this bust. All right. And it has something to do with court. They were some type of officials, definitely some type of officials. And some of these things were in a living room. You know what I'm saying? Like these were these were not like things that were like the vision of it was not created like with, you got a lot of different sculptors. I think that these were people that some of these people were just like just layman people, and they thought about this idea, in a living room. Of course, it may not have been a contemporary living room like we have here, but in a space, in a private space, and it had ladies had a lot to do with carving these things out and bringing these huge things to life. And the purpose of it was to like make something to like bring out the image of the person's power. Okay, they had a particular power, these King of Swords, or they were projected as men of power. Okay, so some of these ladies instilled and put things on there. I think that some of this stuff was like an interpretation, like the hats or whatever this address that was on their head. The ladies like made like a artistic flair to it. Okay, like they might have something in a headrest but not as ornate as they are putting it on the statue. But the statue is to project power and to also project authority, but coming from a female interpretation of it, of somebody looking at their husband or whoever or someone in their family. All right. So, but it was a lot of ladies involved in this situation. Let's see the Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands. Sometimes people would pass away from here. I feel it was to honor them as well. Everybody did not live. You got illness, you got rich girl, and great fortune. So women would, for a time, like if something happened to one of their spouses, then the women would make these statues in response to the husband that is no longer there, and then it would be taken up, another leader would be taken up. That's how I feel like. That's that. And then it was like a respect or honor for somebody. You're a female, your husband passes away, he was a man of great power before, and then after he passed away, then you go ahead and make one of those huge colossal things because you considered him to be of importance, and he was an importance to the community until his untimely illness and death. All right, so that you could make that as a remembrance too. Some of those things are for remembrance of people in great power. What is that tickling? The same thing. I don't know what that is. Not phone talking about women. Oh. All right, so that is what they were for. Now they have a challenge of a Seven of Swords. Okay, so that's getting away with stuff or taking stuff. Like I say, I think that these communities were in flux with their government and their history. So I feel just like sometimes that the Egyptian people would, deface something if they wanted to erase or whitewash history or something. So if they wanted to whitewash history, then though this is explaining how some of those heads are like, messed up or buried. So that was the challenge. Yes, you want to keep your memory alive and show your power and who you were and what was your importance. It has very much a kinship to Egyptians, definitely, which is the African continent as well. All right, and so people could steal those. I mean, they was heavy as I don't know what. They probably couldn't steal them, but I don't think all of them was just huge, because these are just the relics of what's left. Okay, I need you to understand that too. Different type of these things were made, but these are some of the things that survived. Okay, but people would deface them, take them. So that was the drawback of having a monument or something to mark your border, is that it can be very much eliminated because it's out in the well, people can see it and do whatever they want to. So that was a challenge. Advice, Ace of Pentacles. This has something very much to do with opportunity. Ace of Pentacles. These um excuse me. That we got sorrow and we got change. And on top of that is the Ace of Pentacles. So throughout the history of the Olmec people, again, the empire rose and fell. But there was a point where the empire was not doing as well as it is, and they had a comeback or something changed. Okay, and the people start getting being a better financial community. However, financial, not in how we are financial now, of course, because we are more contemporary. They may have got more trade from somebody else, or developed a trade route, or found something on the island, I mean the place that they sit, such as resources or something like that. So it was a time that the community was in sorrow, all right, and they didn't have much or of anything, and maybe they didn't know how to get the resources. But there was a change when these Alamec statues started coming. I think that's when they rose in prominence, when they rose in statue of power, and when they rose with also finances, whatever finances was at that time, long ago. Finances would be different, but the society began to change, and they become to get better. So this was a point in anthropology where the society is climbing. Okay, so at this point, this is when their society was doing its best, and they were putting out all of these statues to commemorate the power. All right, let's see. Also, we have at the end is the Three of Wands, which is celebration, community. So at the end of this, they also celebrated these things. I think at first they just start putting them up to show their power and prowess and all of that, with the ladies designing it. But then I think at the end, whenever they got a new ruler, not only a ruler, this is what Spirit is telling me, it was also like war people, like not war heroes. That's probably not a good word. I don't know. People who are very good at militant, keeping boundaries. Um, they were celebrated. Okay, like we celebrate Memorial Day or something like that. So also some of these people were like great warriors. Okay, to them, not only people who were like leaders. Like king type leaders. We also have like your military, or if you're in a clan or something, like somebody who is in charge of the security of the people and the security of whatever little community or nation that you have going there.
Like miniature knights.
Yes, there you go. There she goes. She did. That's what I'm saying. Knights, but of course these are not knights, because
like
this not medieval time, and we're not over there in the UK. We're over here off the coast of Gulf of Mexico. But that's the only thing that is good that I can she attributed to it. It's knights, yeah, like knights. And you got kings. So this was something for the kings and for the knights. And Spirit is also telling me that long ago. They're probably lost. There are those huge colossal busts, not as huge as the biggest ones, but they do have some of women. Okay, women were important in this society. Okay, Hmm, go figure. Let's see. Three of Wands. Women. Three of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. These people were in the moolah, nothing more than the moolah. You know, at that point they might have had might not have had money, whatever their currency was. Okay, whatever it was, these were the elite. Okay, I guess you can say that. They had nice things. Okay, they had nice head rest and on the head, and they had the finances. And this was something along the line of lineage as well. So whatever these Alamic people was, they did participate in lineage, such as my granddaddy, grandfather, and something where money and power went with with the family line here. So you would have like celebrations where they would have the colossal heads made in honor of three generations of people. All right. So that was the purpose of it. All right. Yeah, these heads were made for upper class people, if you could say so, in that time. These were not made for low level people. You never had a small bus nor a huge bus of other people. These were considered to be, again, like somewhat like knights or somewhat like kings or somebody of very importance. The bigger colossal of that head was the major person that contributed to their society, and contributed to their society in a way where they learned how to use their resources. So wherever they came from, and they went and came over there, and they saw the area, and then they used their resources. Okay. Because I don't quite feel like that these were the that were originally on that island. I just feel like traveling. This is where I came to. Okay. And not only this is where I came to, um, there's also somebody else on the island previous to me, and these people and I come together and combine. And I don't know really what to tell you that because I don't know much about it, but I do know that the pendulum has told me about the Africanized. So there are some people that are coming from somewhere else going there. There are a few people that are there, and they are combining with those people. Okay, so to me, that's giving me mixed race of people, but I don't know because I wasn't there. But that's what it seems like to me. Like two people come together and they combine. They are two different races. All right, so now we got a multiracial activity going on, and that is why we see those large lips, large uh, noses, and we don't know who they could have combined with on that island because I really wouldn't know the original inhabitants of it. All right, but there are some original inhabitants of that place, and that could be Native American, and that could be Black folks mixing with the Native Americans. All right, that's just one of my theories, but definitely some Africanized. I'm going to say definitely because I follow my spirit. So definitely some Africanized DNA is in there, mixed with what was ever original people that was there together. All right, let's see. How did they create these tools? Let's try to figure that out. Like how they created these large, massive things. That is part of the history. How did they transport it, and uh, how did they make it? Okay, and I'll try my best to do that. Let's see. Let's first go with transportation. Let's go with the transportation of it. The transportation. This was a emperor. Emperor is like you follow the rules, stringent. You have to move this, and you have to move it correctly, is what I hear someone saying. It's something that they did in the past. It's something that they did in the past from wherever they came from. Okay. And they know a particular type of method because they've used it before, but not to this extent of moving these huge tons of things, but they've done something similar to it. Let's see. It was very, very, very strenuous work. We got the 9 of Wands. This was tough. This was arduous. They really had to really want this done. I see them dragging something in my mind's eye, dragging something with something underneath it. So, for instance, okay, I'm not a builder or anything, so I have to explain it as best as I can. It's like for instance, if you wanted to slide something heavy and you put it on top of, like, the blue tarp. Okay, you put it on top of the blue tarp and then you drag it all around, and then you tie something to something and drag it around. And I know it's not that simplistic because this is a huge 40-ton thing, but it's something that they did in that right. They put the thing on top of something, dragged it, um, and rope, and on something. Yeah, I can't really tell you exactly how because I'm not there, but that's what it feels like. Let's see. Let's get some more information. Information is the key. Let's see. Lots of manual labor. And then I did get a card right here with a bell where something is tied on something. You see how that something is tied on something, and you lifting it. I get that very complicated thing. You had to do like several different things, and something involved. Let's see. Did they involve any type of marine activity? Let's see. Boats. Maybe we don't have boats per se as they are now, but any type of marine activity such as boats or water things to transport this. Was that around? It's saying no, that it's not. So I'll go with no. So no boats. Lots of dragging and improvised tools is what I heard. Like improvised things. Like if you pour, you understand improvise. Like if you ain't got no milk, then what you gonna use? Some water or something like that. And immense manpower. Okay, improvised tools, pulley systems. That's what I see. You know how they teach you in class the pulley system. Something about the pulley system. We got rope, we got boards, we got huge man hours. Okay, huge manpower. All right. And they literally exhausted themselves doing this, and but it's not slavery or nothing. This is kind of like a labor of love. um some people were hurt because you can be caught up under it. What? Yeah. And for some reason I see, like, I don't know what that is though, but it's like barrels, water with barrels in it, barrels and water. I don't know what that is, but that's something that they used. Let's see. They were supposed to use some type of waterway, but one of these women whose husband had died unexpectedly and had some type of illness, and she was in power for just a short time until she can find a husband or get a husband or something like that. And they were supposed to take these things and do some marine activity with them, but they could not. So I think they had to go and use some type of MacGyver tricks with the water and some and something with water in it, something to promote buoyancy, but not actually putting it in boat because it was too freaking heavy. But they were doing something that had to do along the waterway. Yeah, but it wasn't completely boat oriented about anything like that. Let's see. Let's see. The emperor. So there definitely was a man that was controlling this is situation, and he was obsessed um, until he died, and then somebody else took it over. But I feel like there was one general man that was in charge of making these things and getting these things to certain areas. He was obsessed with this. He was very controlled. Lots of people were hurt during the construction and taking it where not the construction, but taking it where it needed to be. And when they carved it, I just think that they used tools. Maybe they didn't have metal, but there is something that they used prior to coming to that particular area. Something they used in their country, whatever country that they came from. And they used those tools and made tools, very much improvised stuff that actually worked well. Okay. So, from what I can tell in looking at the Olmec people in my mind, is that they were very ingenuitive type people. They took what they had and made something. Okay. And that's usually Africans, because sometimes you don't have a lot, and African Americans too. And then you tend to take what you got and do what you can with it and just rig it up. Okay, I'm rigging stuff around my house all the time. So they were very, very into making tools and making things work. And very, this man here, whoever he was in charge, he was a beast. Yeah, you would work all night and day, but no slavery. This was just like a labor of love for the people. All right. He This is like a card that says shut up. Like he wanted them to work and don't do nothing else. Like be quiet. Okay, he probably was a Virgo or something like that, because he real hard on the people, like and he busting their balls with these things here. In the past, Six of Cups and love or romance. This is the thing they did in the past. I think wherever they come from, they were making monuments. Okay, and they were also, like I say, this was a labor of love, and that's what this card is. Getting carried away with your emotions, love, or romance. So whatever country they come from, they were actively like making small monuments or small things like this uh, for love and romance. The people that they cared about. Whoever that was be, and then they decide to themselves. Well, I remember making these in a small way. Now I need to make this huge. And how can I do this? And this obsessed man was very good at doing it. Let's see. Now, the challenge of them transporting things was that the King of Swords and positive outcome. This tells me that the king wanted it done, or the king, I'm just loosely saying king, or whoever was in charge, wanted it done more quickly. And that's why this man was pushing. The man that actually, was in charge of most of the heads was pushing the people to come on, hurry up, because that was the challenge. They people in charge, sometimes they not patient, they don't appreciate what it takes to get something done, and they just think that you should just go ahead and get it done. So that was the challenge of this man here. I'm gonna call him the builder. That was the challenge of the builder there. All right, let's see. He worked those people really, really hard, though. He really, really did. All right, simply take it or leave it. uh Sometimes wherever those monuments set, sometimes he couldn't make it to wherever they wanted. It was just not humanly possible. We got the Nine of Wands here, and we got hopes dashed, and we got simply take it or leave it. So some of that shit, for real, I mean, it was just where it was left at, because where the king wanted it, it couldn't be done. It wasn't humanly possible. They can only get it so far. They can only go here. Well, not a king, but whatever. Some person that's like regionally over things. I don't know. But he wanted it in a certain spot position. And, the builder could only get it to where he could get it with the crude tools he had. First of all, he had enough manpower, though. That's something that I see. Yeah, I guess he was a manager, but I call him the boss. Um, so he could only get them so much. So some of those things, where people see them, by the time they got to him to take him, then the king was out of power, or the person who was over it was out of power. So that's sometimes attributes to why some of these things is look like they buried or they not needed, because by the time they finished dragging it around, he was either dead, or he was no longer in power, so old it was over with. You know what I'm saying? So about, and they just set it where it was. That's what it says. Simply take it or leave it. And that was it. All right. And what was the Eight of Cups? Eight of Cups is they walked away. This shit was too heavy. That's just it. This is the Eight of Cups. This is the ending of the transportation. It's too heavy. Look at this man right here. You see what he doing? They lifting this big spear and like, I didn't had enough of this. Okay, so that was the ending of those heads and the transportation of it. They got too heavy to go so far. It took too much manpower, and it really wasn't making any sense at one time. So that's like those people. One day we're gonna look back on baby hair, and then everybody gonna wonder why they put that slick that hair in front of their face, but not now. But later on down in some years, we're gonna like, why was we putting our hair on our face? That's a lot of stuff we did in the 80s that we is really thinking about, like why we went did that. Because sometime, no, that was the 90s. The girls were wearing the boxers and the Dickies pants, and then they would sag the dick. These was girls, straight girls at this time, because we ain't know nothing about all this stuff. So they would sag the Dickies pants, and then they would have their boxers showing the girls. And now that you look back on that, you're like, no, why do you want to do that? Why people want to do that? They people have pictures of themselves and they, and they straight people, but that's just something like we trying to do something, a fad, something that's gonna wear out like 6'7", and people ain't gonna be saying 6'7", by the beginning of the year or something. So that's what it was. It just fell out of favor, and it was too heavy and it wasn't worth it. All right. So that's why people can see them dump this place or dump that place. And some of the people, I just feel like some of those ones that are like some of the statues, like you cut something off or something is being like it feels like some of the leaders weren't good. All right. And then so what you do when they're not good, you want to act like every president was great. So then you just kind of like smash up their stuff and bury it. And yeah, we moving on from that. Donald Trump was not our president. We don't know who that is. Yeah, that's kind of what they be doing like that. So that kind of gives you a sense of it. Anything else that I need to answer? Hold on. I think that maybe let me see if I can get how they created these tools. All right, how they created tools. Because humans have not always had metal. And again, we make do with what we got here. But let me see, can I catch a signal on how they created these metals? And this is gonna be it because it's a video. Some of these tools took days to create out of other things that they found in the ground. And then they kind of like me, because here's the question, like when I be trying to fix something around my house, then I go to looking and I say, what can serve this purpose? I do this a lot because I'm a very impoverished poor person, so I have to figure out what's around the house, and I can fix stuff. All right, they made something out of nothing. Yeah, see that dish here got nothing, something out of nothing. Errant things that they found in the ground that may not be so great to make material out of now, but they knew places on within their resources. Also, these people were very great at finding the resources on their island. And once they found the resource, they found resources in the ground, in the caves, certain parts of the bushes and stuff like that. These were very, like I say, indigenous peoples. Okay. And when I say that, I just don't mean Native American people. I mean also people like Africa are in the bushes and stuff. But I feel like, again, this film, to me, this seems like a collaboration, the Olmec people, the collaboration of Native American people mixed with Africanized people. All right, so very ingenuitive. They make something out of nothing, nothing out of something, and they go around and see their resources. Also, there are things that have were something at one time that were on this particular land. So they would take old stuff and make it new. Heartbreaking things. This is like grief, sadness. To be honest with you, I think on some of the parts of the island there were monuments, sort of similar to where you go and like the Day of the Dead, like you a memorial, not a cemetery per se, but somewhere where there's a lot of sadness and grief, but they have items there that are no longer needed, ceremonial purpose items or something. That's what I get. Like they were really just kind of like scavenging, is what I get here. Let's see. And again, that's just these eyes and looking and just figuring out. They were, like I say, the people were smart because they could look at something and figure out what they needed to do to alterate something. These were engineers, but engineers of the bushes. Okay, that's how I feel that these people mind work. They were very much. Let's see. A lot of stuff they got out of nature. That's what I get with this sun. A lot of stuff they got out of nature when they were just out and about and having fun and out in nature, and they seen things. And they also used nature, things in nature they used, and they say, how can we recreate it? And that's what their tools were based on. So for instance, like I'm saying, um, the woodpecker. Okay, he pecking on the wood. He pecks his sharp. He pecking, and he eventually gets into the tree. They would kind of see that and say, how can we as humans create that thing? All right, let's see. Trial and error. They definitely had some trial and error. Tools that worked, tools that did not work. All right. And eventually it's like trial and error, and eventually you moving on up. Like you'll create something, a prototype, and then you'll see more things, and then you'll be able to make it more complicated enough to, yeah, like crocheting. Yeah, okay, that's a comparison of it. All right, I'm gonna make sure I don't have no more questions. I think that's about it that I could think to answer. If anybody else have any more, I definitely will ask them. And the Olmec people predated the Maya and the Aztec. Olmec, is it Olmec? Who? Who?
Olmec. I don't know how to say that.
You don't know how to say that. Olmec. We'll keep it like
You
that.
kept saying it with an A.
Oh, I don't know why.
Olmec.
I don't know. Olmec. What was their purpose? They did that. How they created the tools, the location. Okay. All right. So now I'm just gonna just ask any other question that we need to know about the the Olmec's head, the history, any kind of mystery, anything else we need to know. Spirit, please let us know about the Olmec heads.
Look for me saying like Olmec.
Olmec,
Olmec.
Olmec, but it's got an L in the middle.
Olmec.
That don't sound right, unless it's like a foreign pronunciation. All right. Well, the spirit guides, the spirits are telling me like this is a message from the Olmec people. Not to worry, because when they first started their society, they were worried and fearful of everything and everybody. When they originally came here from wherever they were. They were received. They're saying the let me clearly get the message. Let me watch a minute. That just because you come into a strange land and you know no one and nobody, and you feel like when you get there, you're not going to be able to survive, you're not going to be able to make it. Always know that there is someone there reaching out and willing to help you. And this is what I feel like, again, that they saw the original people of the island, and then the Africans came along too, and together these two people combined and they made the Olmec people. And this is the combination, lovers, that there's always going to be someone to come to your aid and combine with you, and then you both can grow together. This is the chariot, this is movement, this is victory. And you'll be, sometimes it's okay to be alone, okay? But sometimes you need people. And then that is when you're the strongest. When you come together and you combine, you become stronger. So that is the message of the Olmec people, that we are not an island, that we are not just black people, that we are not just white people. We are a mixed breed and race of folks just put together and combined. Some of us have a little bit more of that, a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. But in the end, if we combine, we can only be stronger. All right. That has been my read for the Olmec History Mystery. Please share. And if you have came along and seen it and liked it, go ahead and share wherever you can. Also, if you did play Animal Crossing, just hit me up at my email, shannonbabytara@gmail.com, and give me your code and let me know when you're on there. You can come to my island, or you can come to my daughter's island. It's much prettier. Mine is like in construction. All right. All right. My island alone. My island fit me. All right. Look, you might not be everybody. You might not be everybody's cup of tea, but some people drink coffee. So that's what that is.
Gotta force your tea on.
No, you don't. You don't force nobody on nobody. All right. Thank you and have a great day.